Right now at 5:30, it was supposed to be Mike Pence's night at the convention, but another speaker stole the show. That's coming up.
Also on WKYT this morning, some drivers in Cincinnati witnessed an unusual traffic jam. More on the horses that caused it. That's ahead on WKYT this morning.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good morning, Bill Bryant and Rebecca Smith here at WKYT. We want to move quickly to this. We're tracking breaking news out of Boyle County right now.
Michelle Chamberlain at our alert desk with details on a deadly crash.
We just talked to the Boyle County coroner. He's confirmed that 3 people were killed in a single car crash. That crash happened a little before 5 o'clock this morning on Kentucky 33 and Faulkner Lane. That's just north of Danville. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says the vehicle involved caught on fire. Kentucky 33 is expected to be closed for several hours this morning. The coroner could not elaborate just yet on who is involved. Now we have a crew headed to the scene, and we will of course keep you up to date throughout the morning here on WKYT.
All right, thank you very much. We wanted to get that information to you. A lot to follow up on that story, but again, it's going to be a mess for a while and certainly a sad occurrence with a triple fatality
3
near
people.
Danville.
Yikes.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a look at weather and see what Micah has in store for our Thursday forecast.
Well, it looks pretty good, just like yesterday, where most of us stay dry. You can't rule out a pop-up thunderstorm by the afternoon. You get into the heat of the day, and it is typical. It is rare to actually get into this type of pattern, get into the heat of the day and not have at least a pop-up thunderstorm or 2 by the afternoon. Temperatures are there in 60s and 70s early this morning. Look at that temperature sticking out like a sore thumb, 92 degrees by the afternoon. Here we go with that heat once again today. And believe it or not, this is not even the highest temperature I have in my forecast. I'm going to talk all about that in your 7-day and get into your weekend too and show you a few more storms moving in for your weekend. That's coming up.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you, Mike.
Donald Trump formally accepts his party's presidential nomination tonight, the final day of the Republican National Convention.
The theme of the night is Make America One Again. But as Weijia Jiang reports from Cleveland, day 3 of the convention has thrown party unity into some question.
Day 3 of the RNC was supposed to be all about Vice Presidential nominee Mike Pence.
I accept your nomination to run and serve as Vice President.
But the Indiana governor's moment became overshadowed by bad blood between Donald Trump and former rival Ted Cruz.
Stand and speak and vote your conscience. Vote for candidates up and down the ticket who you trust to defend our freedom and to be faithful to the Constitution.
The Texas senator was enthusiastically booed during his speech for failing to endorse the billionaire.
God bless the United States.
The jeers quickly turned to cheers as Trump entered the arena. He later brushed off the non-endorsement as no big deal via Twitter, saying, "I saw his speech 2 hours early, but let him speak anyway." Hillary Clinton used Cruz's own words to capitalize on the moment, urging people to vote their conscience and choose her in November. Cruz's last stand came just 1 day before Trump takes center stage here in Cleveland tonight. Reaction to Cruz from delegates was mixed.
If this guy wants to save his political future, he's going to have to come to the table, but it was an embarrassment.
I think he gave a message that was clear, but he also gave a message that wasn't forced. So I think it was well said.
Ivanka Trump is expected to address unity tonight before her father formally accepts the GOP presidential nomination. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Cleveland, Ohio.
And Hillary Clinton's campaign is expecting Trump's remarks to focus on her, just as many of the convention speakers have during this week. They've released a new video ahead of the remarks, highlighting all of the nice things that he had to say about her before the bitter campaign got underway. Clinton is expected to name her running mate tomorrow. Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin has been at the Republican National Convention all this week.
Last night, he talked to our sister station, WYMT, about unity within the Republican Party. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our live desk with more on Bevin's remarks.
Good morning, Rebecca. Governor Bevin says the unification process has finally begun now that Donald Trump has fought his way through a highly contentious 17-way primary and clinched the Republican nomination.
It is our honor
remember to cast our vote.
Bevin says you can really start to get a sense that people are unifying around the billionaire businessman at the convention. The governor is throwing his full support behind Trump. He's backing him because the majority of Republican voters in Kentucky support him as well. Bevin also thinks Trump is more qualified for the office of president than Hillary Clinton.
She is somebody who is corrupt. She has any number of catastrophes that have followed her her entire life. She has become enriched at the taxpayer expense, and I frankly think she is a disservice to our servicemen and women. Her utter disregard for the rule of law, I think, disqualifies her from even being considered.
Up until now, Bevin has waited to endorse a candidate for president. Now that Donald Trump is a Republican nominee, Bevin is asking voters to rally around him and vote for him in November. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, and more coverage throughout the day on WKYT and of the Democratic Convention next week. Well, 3 men are now facing charges for their alleged actions at a Donald Trump rally in Louisville earlier this year. Police say video shows them shoving a protester at the rally. They say Matthew Heimbeck, Alvin Bamberger, and Joseph Pryor have been charged with harassment. That's a misdemeanor. Investigators say Heimbeck is a leader in a white supremacist group. The victim, Shia Wanguma, says that she was protesting peacefully at the rally in March when the men pushed her. She says they also called her racist and sexist slurs. She has also filed a civil lawsuit against the 3 men.
Today, 2 men charged in connection with the deadly Pulaski County shooting will be sentenced. Jesse Brown and his father, Rexel Brown, are both charged in connection with the death of Danny Poor in October of last year. A little more than a month ago, Jesse Brown made a deal, pleading guilty to being a felon in possession of a handgun. Rexel Brown pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Today, Jesse Brown is expected to be sentenced to 10 years in prison. Rexel Brown is expected to be sentenced to 15 years.
New this morning, a woman was seriously injured during an overnight police chase in Mercer County. The sheriff's office there says it started with what should have been a simple traffic stop in Harrodsburg, but police say the driver sped off, leading them on a chase for more than 30 minutes before crashing on Cap Bottom Road, where he was arrested. Christopher Richardson has been taken to the hospital with minor injuries, but deputies say a woman in the car with him was seriously hurt. They're monitoring her condition to see if Richardson will be facing additional charges. New this morning, authorities are looking for a man who escaped from a Kentucky jail. They say 36-year-old Stephen Moore of Knott County escaped from the Letcher County jail just after 7 o'clock yesterday evening. Jail authorities say he made a homemade tool and cut the wires of the fence surrounding an outdoor recreation area on the roof of the jail. Moore is 5'9", weighs about 174 pounds. He has brown eyes, brown hair, green eyes. He was last seen wearing orange jail pants. Moore was one of 5 people arrested after a meth bust in Letcher County.
Earlier this week, we told you about a sudden spike in heroin overdose deaths in Boyle County. The coroner said 5 people have died in the last few weeks. Last night, some people in the community gathered for a meeting designed to address the problem. As a way to bring awareness to this drug epidemic, many people who have been affected by addiction shared their stories. Dr. Eric Garant says drug and addiction experts need to get into the schools and educate kids, and communities need to be vigilant.
And we need to run these drug dealers out of this county, out of this region. They need to know if they come to Danville, they're going to jail.
The group that organized the meeting is called FIGHT, which stands for Families into Getting Help Together. They will meet again on August 8th.
There are some new developments in the investigation of a missing Nelson County mother. Crystal Rogers has not been seen since last July. Police say her boyfriend, Brooks Houck, is a suspect, but so far he has not been charged. Yesterday, Houck's grandmother, Anna Whitesides, agreed to answer questions prepared by prosecutors at a later date. Prosecutors say those questions will center around a white Buick that she once owned. Investigators think the car may have been used to get rid of Rogers' body. Rogers' family hopes that they are getting closer to some answers in the case.
I don't feel like I got anywhere today, honestly. I mean, I want more. I just want more. You know, I want her to answer them questions today. Not a month from now, 2 months from now. I want it today.
Rogers' family says they are frustrated that the answers Whiteside gives will be private and all documents will be sealed by the court. Today, the University of Kentucky Board of Trustees Executive Committee will be meeting, and they're planning to review the annual evaluation of UK President Eli Capilouto. About a month ago, trustees extended Capilouto's contract by 3 years. They also gave him a 48% pay raise, increasing his salary from just over $535,000 a year to $790,000 a year. Capilouto joined UK in 2011. There are several big events going on today.
Yeah, the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet will hold a meeting this evening to discuss improvements to US 27 under the R.J. Corman Railroad Bridge. The meeting's informal, open to the public. It happens to be in Lexington. They're at 1450 North Broadway. The people may come by anytime between 5:30 and 7:30 this evening. The meeting will be at Community Ventures Corporation there on North Broadway.
In Frankfort, there's going to be a unity march this evening to support law enforcement. That begins at 5:30 at the intersection of Capitol Avenue and 2nd Street. Participants will proceed up to the steps of the Capitol, where there will be speakers. Anyone attending is asked to park on the top of the Capitol parking garage. From there, they will be transported to Capitol Avenue and 2nd Street.
And in Berea, there will be a fundraiser for West Virginia flood victims. It starts at 7 tonight at the Church on the Rock on Richmond Road. A couple of gospel bands expected to play there. Well, there was an unusual traffic jam in Cincinnati yesterday.
Right, a group of horses caused it. Police say the horses somehow got loose near Interstate 74 and ended up traveling along the road. At one point, police shut down the interstate in both directions while the horses were rounded up. As of this morning, those horses are all accounted for and are safe. So,
wow, could you imagine seeing that as you're driving along the interstate?
It would be a little more expected around here than in Cincinnati. But
I guess so.
But there you go.
Interesting.
Happenings in the Queen City. All right, 5:42 on WKYT this morning. Let's check traffic and see what's going on. As we take a look at the region, we will make note again, and I think it is showing up there distantly on that map. There's a delay on Kentucky 33. That is near Danville. There has been a triple fatality accident this morning. A car caught fire, an awful story that we're continuing to keep you updated on.
Yeah, we have a crew there trying to get more information to see exactly what happened. Here's a look at the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government's live drive cam at New Circle and Meadow Lane.
Looks good there. No reports of any troubles in town right now. Still a lot more news coming up for you Thursday on WKYT.
Well, people say you find love when you least expect it. Well, what about a virtual reality game? We'll have more when we come back.
And we're talking about some pretty hot conditions in the days ahead. Not just today, but tomorrow off into your weekend. Talking about a heat advisory. I'll show you where that's located coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Some of us under a heat advisory in effect until Saturday. Now, that's really for the I-65 corridor and back toward the west. The National Weather Service from Louisville has not extended that into our viewing area, except for the Bardstown region there as you work your way off into Nelson County. Now, I do expect at least a few counties to be extended and actually included into this heat advisory throughout the next day or two. So just keep that in mind, that the heat advisory is on its way. This was actually located just to the west. They're under an extreme heat warning back toward the west. Here's a heat advisory saying watch out for triple-digit heat index values. And I do expect that to continue just to move eastbound. So just keep in mind, here comes some big-time heat. Temperatures upper 60s, lower 70s. And then we get into the afternoon, we'll be right around 92 degrees. It will be hot. It will be humid. And also, most of us, about 80% of us, stay dry. That means 20% a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. That's what we do every time in the summer light pattern. That 20% is in there just to say watch out for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm, but most do not see rain for today. So here's your values showing up there on Friday evening. Here's 5 p.m. It's Friday afternoon, rather. 100 degrees showing up in Richmond, and that goes for many locations upper 90s to lower 100s. That is for your heat index. That's the moisture and the temperature put together. But look at Saturday morning, not all that bad. That's when you want to schedule some things Saturday morning. Look at Saturday afternoon. There we are, 101 in Somerset. It did show 104 there in Mount Sterling. Moorhead, this is not the first time this has shown this. Yeah, this is the third or fourth time, and actually 3 days consecutively, it's been on top of this. So this just shows you that this is getting more and more confidence that we're going to be there in the triple digits there for your Friday off into your weekend. Few storms will be around, but it does remain hot and humid both Saturday and Sunday. Even though we're at 90 degrees Saturday and 92, 93 today and tomorrow, Saturday the dew points increase big time. We'll go from the mid-60s for dew points, the measure of moisture in the air, today and tomorrow, to the low to mid-70s on Saturday. And you couple that with those temperatures, and it really skyrockets the feels-like temperature outside. So just because the temperature is lower on Saturday or Sunday does not mean it's not going to feel hotter. It will feel hotter on those 2 days because of the moisture increasing.
Yeah.
So just keep in mind, a lot of water, possibility of a couple of rumbles of thunder there this weekend too.
It's a messy recipe.
Yeah, doesn't look good. It won't feel good either.
Heat of summer. All right, Micah, thank you. 5:48 now.
So forget dating websites, a new video game. Well, we've all been talking about it. It's called Pokemon Go. You may have heard of it. It may help your love life.
If you did it for, at least it worked out for one couple up in Canada. They say they met through Pokemon Go. The two met on a chat board about the game 2 weeks ago. Then they met up to play, and they say they've been inseparable ever since.
I've tried Plenty of Fish, I've tried Tinder, OkCupid, nothing, no luck whatsoever. Then right away with Pokemon Go, I met someone, so.
The game officially launched in Canada on Sunday. Before that, Canadians had to find workarounds to play it. In the app game, players hunt for Pokemon in real-life locations by following prompts with their smartphone's map. But there they go. Is it a summer fling for them, or will it last? We'll see.
Let's get Micah's opinion.
I said in 2 weeks. We'll see how it works out, right?
Hope it works out for him, you know.
Yeah, you got it. 5:49 now on WKYT. We'll have a lot more news coming up for you. Our top stories on the way, including the details on this awful accident near Danville this morning, a triple fatality. Good morning to you. Welcome back in. WKYT this morning on the air at 5:53, and we're glad you're along.
Yeah, I hope your day's off to a great start. Let's take a look right now at some of the stories we're working on.
The Boyle County coroner is confirming to us that 3 people have been killed in a crash this morning on Kentucky 33 north of Danville. The victims' names and ages have not been released. WKYT News has a crew headed to the scene right now. We'll continue to update this story as we get more information throughout the morning.
Army investigators say that the 101st Airborne Division soldier's death last year at Fort Campbell was preventable. Before the fatal shooting of Specialist Kevin Rodriguez, a soldier failed to account for his possession of live ammunition. The report also says unit leaders failed to conduct ammo checks. Rodriguez was taking place in what was supposed to be a blank fire training exercise.
Kentucky State Senator Ralph Alvarado of Winchester was among the speakers last night at the Republican National Convention. He talked about his parents immigrating to the U.S. to provide a better life for their family. For part of the speech, he spoke in Spanish, asking Latinos to vote for Donald Trump this coming November.
Well, Donald Trump is formally accepting his party's presidential nomination today. It's the final day of the Republican National Convention.
Newly minted vice presidential nominee Mike Pence made a case for Trump on day 3 of the convention yesterday, but his moment was overshadowed some by boos for Ted Cruz, who refused to endorse Trump. Trump's daughter, Ivanka, will be introducing her father ahead of his primetime address tonight.
Cruz's non-endorsement is giving new fodder to the Hillary Clinton campaign. The former Secretary of State pounced on the moment over social media, urging voters, as the Texas senator did, to vote their conscience. Clinton's camp also released a video ahead of Trump's remarks tonight, highlighting all the so-called nice things he said about her over the years.
Travel problems continue today for passengers delayed by technical issues plaguing Southwest Airlines. Several of the airline's computer systems went down yesterday. It caused hundreds of delays or cancellations. Southwest officials are asking for patience as the airline works to get back to normal operations. They say they have had people working all night long on that.
Now for today's top health stories. Exercise may be just as effective as surgery, actually, for treating a common knee injury.
2 million people a year undergo arthroscopic surgery to repair tears to the meniscus cartilage. But a study in the BMJ found that for middle-aged patients, a supervised exercise program works just as well. New research finds that hormone therapy is not an effective cure for memory loss. A study at Stanford University measured brain function in women taking estrogen after menopause. It found no improvement in memory or other mental skills for women, no matter when they started taking hormones.
Let's get a check right now on today's traffic trouble spots with a look at live drive traffic.
We'll see what's going on. I think we have a graphic prepared now as we show you the region as to what is going on Kentucky 33 north of Danville, the scene of that triple fatality accident. It is closed in both directions. The original estimate on getting it reopened is an hour or so, but we'll see certainly as they investigate and work through the situation there at the scene of that fiery crash. There it is again, north of Danville, Kentucky 33 closed in both directions this morning. Now we'll switch to the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government Live Drive Cam. This is at New Circle and Meadow Lane.
Looking pretty good out there this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your morning.
And we want to check weather. We expect that heat index today up around 100.
Yeah, and that's going to be mainly for the western zones, and then that area actually slides into our region tomorrow off into your Saturday. So it's going to be really hot the next few days. Temperatures upper 60s, lower 70s right now. We're at 92 later on today. We're going to go over that. I'm going to show you the heat advisory coming up with another hour WKYT News.